Well, today we're going to work on an intermittent power headrest problem on most older Mercedes. We'll work this way from like 2008 and back. So here's the headrest button, and if you can hear, sorry, you can hear the relay clicking. Headrest isn't moving. So either this headrest unit itself is stuck and needs lubrication, or the motor is just stuck, likely from the headrest rarely gets used to adjust the seat. Most people never ever use it, so it's probably carboned up inside the motor, or there's an electrical connection problem. But anyway, easy enough to remove. On the bottom of your seat there's two screws. They could be Phillips, they could be, as this one is, a T20 Torx. I've moved the seat all the way forward and inclined the backrest as far forward as it would go, just so that I'm not working with the seat facing back at me. So once this is out, pull out and slip down. See the two feet there, they slide up underneath. So power headrest motor right up here. So first thing we're going to do is wiggle this connection. Oh, wonder of wonders. So we just have, this is the simplest thing we could possibly have seen. Anyway, let's put this headrest down so we can, that's as far down as it goes. So here's the motor right up in here. So we're not gonna have to pull anything else off. I guess it's just simply a motor, a connector problem in the motor. I don't see anything loose. Let's grab a little pin on the back and pull this connector out. Where's the little pin for it? Just see if there's any other broken wires. There's nothing. Huh. How does that little connector pop out? There's no little tab to push. Oh, there we go. See up in there and see anything. You're gonna be able to see better than I can. I'm just gonna put some dielectric grease on the end of this, and back in a second. Let's just grab some grease. Okay, dielectric grease got a little smidgen. Just gonna pop that. Oops. On there. Shirts are a great thing for wiping on. Plug it back in. And do the test. See if memory works. Sorry, keys in the ignition, or else the seat wouldn't work. Yep, still works. Okay, apparently solved. Great. Well, thank you for watching. Most other older Mercedes are basically the exact same thing, and it's going to be one of two things. It's going to be wiring. It could be all the way up in the switch, but generally it's going to be, I wonder why that would have, You know, maybe just heads hitting that over the years, like pushing on it and rocking this back and forth. I don't know. I don't know why that connection is loose, or was loose. Just wasn't making good contact. Excuse me. But anyway, it is working now. So thanks for watching. Okay, back again. I put everything back together, put the seat back, and the headrest. When I was sitting in it, it wouldn't go up and down. So I sat. I got out of the car, moved everything around, and then when the headrest would go up again, I was pushing on the backrest back on it as if it was sitting there. And every time I sat on it or put weight on it, it would push back, and that would move around a little bit. I mean, this is just loosely held in there. There's no way to tighten this that I can see. Anyway, up in there. I don't know if you can see or not, but there's no real way this is held in that I can find. Other than this, I can feel a little thing back here, but I have no idea how it comes in or out. Never taken one of these things off. I don't want to break this one by hammering it back and forth. That seems to be where it pops in, but I don't know. The only other thing I can think of is the two holes on top, the two plastic grommets hold it in because they go straight through. But I pulled my headrest off. The headrest just merely sits in this little cup. And this little cup, and you just pop it up and off. It's not hard, and then just pull it out. But anyway, I was looking at this cable, really tight. It was tight, tucked in behind the spring there. And now no matter what I do, you see it working? Even if I push on it, it still works, which I can't show you because I've got one hand with a camera. But trust me, if I push on it, it still works. So I think the whole deal was simply having this cable around this spring, and then when you sat in the car, you pulled back on it, and it just added tension to this wire and pulled it slightly out. But that seems to be what it was. So check that on yours if yours isn't working. I'd like to be able to get this out, but I wish the hell I could figure it out. I'm going to spend a few more minutes seeing if I can find out how to take this out. I started taking the upholstery off. It's just these little plastic clips that slip over top of the frame. But I don't think there's any real, once I get those off, I don't think there's anything up there to see. It doesn't feel like there's anything up there that's going to allow me access to this motor. And there's got to be a way it pops on and off. That's obvious, but whether it can only pop on and off once all the upholstery is off, well, that's another thing. I am not taking all the upholstery off just to get that little headrest motor. But I don't think so. I think I've got it now. So yeah, let me put everything back together, check and see if that's all working out. If it is, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna zip tie this with some room over here. I know it's out of the way. It's kept deliberately out of the way so it doesn't interfere going up and down with the headrest. I don't know, just tucking it under here is probably good now. I can't see it actually going anywhere. This part doesn't move. Only this part moves up and down. So, I think I'll zip tie that in place there. I don't think pushing back on the backrest is gonna pull that out. But like I said, once it was wrapped around that, it wasn't, it was wrapped around like this one is. And it was pretty damn tight. Anyway, I'm gonna give that a shot and see what happens. Like I said, I'm also gonna play with this and see if there's a way to get this apart. We'll see, without breaking anything. That's the big thing, not breaking anything. Well, just had the back on and off again, and everything's working fine now. I actually wrapped this wire, which was underneath, like a couple of the little silver ones. It was under there and under here, and it was really pulled. Now, as you can see, there's a bit of slack in it, not a problem. There's nowhere to pull it from and put tension on it. That's what it was. So from the factory, someone wrapped this I guess, just incorrectly and too tightly. And over the years, it just eventually started pulling on this little connection enough to, when someone sat in it, it would lose connection. And now it's all good again, even when I'm pushing on it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope it helps.